Hey everybody, Chris here at U-Joint. So here's V4 2.0 ready for paint. If you didn't watch my intro video that I shot a few months ago showing this and V4 when V4 was still together, be sure to check that out. I go into details about why we're taking on this project or why I was making the change. So now I'm going to show you everything that we've done. Some things have changed even since then, and we're super excited about it. Super thankful for my whole crew for working hard on it and going the extra mile to make sure everything is perfect and a real showcase to what we're capable of and what we're truly passionate about here at U-Joint Off-Road. So, where do I start? 7.3 Godzilla motor, 6R140 transmission. It's got the new process 1128F behind that with flanges. When this thing showed up, it was a dually. That was unexpected. We ordered it as a single wheel, but I think when I jumped up to 456 gears, it automatically bumped me to a higher GVRW, which gave us the full float Dana 70 dually. So at first I was a bit panicked. I didn't know what I was going to do, but once we pulled it apart, started pulling some dimensions, we realized that the wheel mount surface dimension was only a ½ inch wider than what V4 2.0 or V4 1.0 was, with its Sterling 10.5 that had 2-inch wheel spacers. So I said, you know what, let's keep it. Let's build up this Dana 70, and I'll change the bolt pattern to 8 on 6.5 and just get different wheels. So it's a Dana 70 full float. There aren't a lot of locker options for these things. So we went with a Dana 80 Detroit locker with the Dana 70 488 ring gear, and had to change the axle shafts to 35 spline. Other than that, it went together real nice. We made a custom truss. We made the truss here in-house to hold all the suspension links, and that's all we really changed. From V4 1.0, we swapped the trailing arms and the upper link arms. More wiring on this guy because it has a brake line and ABS wire to each hub. We changed up a few things on the rear upper shock tower. There was nothing wrong with the last design. It never failed, but we just wanted to beef it up a little bit. Why not? And I moved. One of the reasons we didn't do this on the first one was I had a 5-gallon air tank and my air compressor in that area. So we're going to move those elsewhere, and that freed up some space for us to beef up this cross member. We also beefed up and added a little, pizzazz to the bump cans. Also in the rear, we made a new upper link cross member and a new front bed mount. The rear bed mount is basically the same as V4 1.0. We tab and slotted it to make it easier to assemble, and the hitch sticks out like an inch further, which is hardly noticeable. For the cab, we went with the same size cab back as V4. It's a 12-inch cab back from cabbacks.com. I think their official name is Blackhawk Industries, I believe. Standard 12-inch cab back. They added some wood to reinforce. One thing I didn't do on the last build that I regretted was adding a vent. So if you look at the back of a truck cab, you'll see they have these vents on them. We cut the hole for that this morning. You'll see it helps with pressure, and even though this cab back is fiberglass and it's got a lot of wood reinforcement, there's still some flex to it. So the vent helps with air when you're opening and closing the doors. Now the real fun stuff, the front suspension. So the only thing that carried over from the previous suspension are the coilovers and the air bumps. Everything else is all brand new. One of the things I regretted about the first build was not just getting a custom housing to begin with. We used the existing leaf sprung axle and cut everything off to make it ready for the coilovers. The van frames are wider than the trucks, so that, along with the fact that the van wheel wells are so tiny, really limits on what you can do suspension-wise without making it a monster truck. So I wanted to keep it low and still get a good travel shock in there. So this is a 12-inch travel 3.0 King, just like the rear. This axle came in and out probably 25 times as we checked this, checked that, made this change, made that change, and got it exactly the way we want it, to where everything's functional. We got full steering, lock to lock, got tons of wheel travel, and basically had to limit the up travel just due to the fact that the tires are getting into the fenders, so the fenders aren't big enough. We didn't modify these fenders. It's a stock fender. V4's fenders were opened up at the rear. I didn't want to do that on this one because I do want to run a flare, which we need because this axle is so wide. The wheel mount surface on this front is 74 inches. A full 5 inches wider than the old axle and the standard axles that we use on our kits. So, Dynatrac Pro Rock 60. It's got 488 gears, and we kept the Knoll Racing power lock for this. I love that power lock. So everything from the knuckles out has been swapped over from V4 also. Had to have custom inner axle shafts made, and that's it. Took our time really beefing up everything. The upper track bar mount, super beefy. The back side mounting plate goes frame rail to frame rail. Got a little kink in the track bar to clear the diff at full stuff. And crossover steering, of course. You can see here, we're a little bit above ride height, but you can see that drag link is nice and flat. Just the way we like it. Spent a lot of time on the upper towers, beefing them up. And the old ones, again, nothing failed, but I wanted to add a little more beef. So we did. Made these super cool plates that we're able to weld on the bench and then carry over here to weld to the frame. So I'm not really sure how to classify this suspension style. I guess it's a radius arm 3-link hybrid would be the best way to describe it. We spent a lot of time on that track bar, bump pad, upper link mount. You can see the sway bar. The sway bar is not in it yet. I think I forgot to mention that. We're redoing the sway bar drop brackets, and we'll bolt that up once it gets back from the body shop. All new links. Another thing I didn't like on the last rig, the links I thought were too steep. So we lowered that link mount quite a bit to get them flatter and added some length. There's this new radius arm mounts, and then you can see the 3-inch exhaust. So we took some Vibrant Performance 3-inch mandrel bent stainless and made a new driver's side pipe that goes to that Y. And right now it's going right into the cat. We're dumping out of the cat at the moment. Once it's back from the body shop, we'll add a muffler and a turn down. Try to quieten this thing up. It sounds so good though right now. I love it. It's been fun to tool around the parking lot. It'll do, I mean, you can see I've got a few burnouts. I mean, if you just roll on the throttle, it'll burn out, but that's to be expected with 488s and these little tiny tires. That's all I can think of right now as far as this update goes for this stage of the build. Like I said earlier, it's going to the body shop Monday. They're going to paint the cab back. Well, they're going to blend the cab back to the body, paint it, and they're going to paint the rockers and the flares. So, super excited. Totally in love with this thing. Can't wait to get it on the road, put some miles on it, romp on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, please do. I post daily shop updates of what we're doing here at the shop and what's going on. Email me, comment if you got questions. My email is chris@ujoinoffroad.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and hope to see you guys soon.